Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Long John. So there's been a couple new items that have been added into Fortnite Creative that have made my life a little bit easier, and it'll make yours easier too. If you're making custom maps that say you want your friends to go and play and start off with a certain amount of, let's say, mats or guns or whatever you want them to have, it's going to be a lot easier with these two new items. So my point in making this video is to show you these items, and that way you can go in and jump on in without any questions. Hopefully we answer them for you. First things first, don't mind the gigantic box behind me. We're putting in a new couch that I have to put together this weekend somewhere over there. But let's hop on over into Fortnite so that way you can see what I'm talking about with these two new items. Alright, so we have right in front of me in my map a lot of these new things. So there's 16 of them that I put in there because my map that I made, and I'll show you my map, we'll put the code down in the description below as well. If you like zone war type maps, this is the one that I made with the Pandora prefabs. A lot of fun, especially with these two new items. If we go into inventory, we can see we have the class Selector and the class Designer. So these two items at first were a little confusing to me because I thought the class Designer, after reading it, saying a highly configurable device used for setting up a custom player class, drop inventory items onto the device during creative mode to define the class's starting inventory. I did that right away with my buddy, and we were starting our games, and our guns weren't going into my map. Well, it turned out it's because you have to also use the class Selector. So again, the point of this being the class Designer, if you put it down, toss it down like I have it, it's not going to have anything in it. Like I had to drop ammo in, I had to drop my guns in there that I wanted for this class. In my map, it's a 16-player free-for-all. So the first class that I wanted to link up, I just went ahead and called it number 1. You could do none, you can go all the way up to 16, but I did 1 through 16 to make it unique for 16 different starting positions in my map. So if you want to copy exactly what I'm doing, grant on respawn, yes is what I had on. Sets whether the device grants its items to players when they respawn after elimination. In my map, it doesn't matter so much because once you die, you're dead for the round. Visible during games, I said off. Bonus ammo I have off. I actually added in my own ammo. Purpose being is if you put an RPG or a grenade launcher in there, if you have bonus ammo on, you're going to have a ton of ammo in that thing. So I'd rather just add it myself. And the rest is pretty self-explanatory. You don't need to really change anything else because this is just all your main options that you have that you probably did on the My Island settings and made it configurable to what you wanted. But if we going back out of this, so let's say this is number 1, and I did the same for all 16. What you want to do next is select your class Designer, equip it, throw it down, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in one of my pods I have over here, where you're going to spawn in my map anyways. And in my map, you spawn in this container, and there is that device. Again, that's the class Selector device that you put down. What happens is when you start my map, right here, you have to walk through it to go out here. So when you walk through that zone, that's what's going to give you exactly everything that you dropped into that first thing that I just showed you. So again, if we look at our customize option, class identifier is 1 because I wanted that first option, number 1, to match up with this one. So that's the class that's going to match up to this one. Team, I left as any. Time to switch, I put instant. The moment you walk through it, it's going to be instant. And you can kind of copy the rest I want. 2 meters was the right size for my map, just because of where you're starting out in that little pod or container. Volume visible in game, sure. Volume visible, what that is to show you is that kind of that aqua little zone thing. Visible in game, I have off, and that is that little device down there that you don't really need to see. So it's just kind of your preference on what you want to do. If we keep scrolling down, accent color, change it up. Aqua green looks really sick. If you want to do green, enabled on gameplay. So when you start your gameplay, here is where it got a little bit more advanced for me. So on my map, I'll explain this on why I wanted it disabled after 30 seconds and how I did it. Because in this, again, the Zone Wars map, if I'm leaving my map, all of us are leaving. Let's say there's 8 of us in here. I don't want the opportunity for anybody to go into any of the other pods and try to swap out classes if they don't like their class or however it is. So what happens is if I go back up here, you can see I had it disabled after 30 seconds. Well, actually it says disabled when receiving from channel 1. So it's a little bit more, I guess, advanced. But if you go way over here, I usually build with a controller. I'm on my keyboard and mouse right now. If you go way over here, I actually set down a explosive device. Structure damage 5,000. Damage indestructible buildings. I had yes because my map is indestructible. And then you can kind of copy the rest here. But the reason I did this is the moment this explodes, is it transmits on channel 1, which would then, there's an option here too, where did I put it? Time to detonation from game start, 30 seconds. After 30 seconds of the game start, it explodes and transmits on channel 1, which would then take away all of those little devices, so that way you can't walk through it again. Again, I purposely did that so that way you wouldn't be able to start, let's say in this one, you didn't like your class, you say, hey, I'm just gonna go over this one quick and try to swap it out. Now they're all disappearing. So that's how I did that. But back to it again, I know I didn't show you, but back to this device that you gotta start with. The class designer, you're gonna wanna drop any guns that you want into that thing. So your weapons, consumables, select whatever you want, and then just simply drop them into this and it'll suck it up. So kind of like the other item spawners that you can do, only this now is way nicer. You can get your mats, your guns, everything, and then putting it in your map and walking over that zone to instantly get those. So hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you'd like to play my Zone Wars map, that's a ton of fun. I'll leave that down in the description with the code. Let me know if this video helped you out. If it did, drop a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Really appreciate the support, guys. But until next time, we'll see you out there.